What's up, you guys? It's Jonno! Today I want to talk about how to find rare Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Now, last time I did a video about how to find rare Pokemon, I did 4 specific tips about how to find those rare Pokemon. And one of the tips was to memorize your rare spawn points in your neighborhood. Now, I wanted to go into that topic a whole lot more with a whole video about that topic because it's very, very important, especially if you live in rural areas. You're gonna have a hard time finding those rare Pokemon, so you need to find the places where they spawn and memorize those places. So this is one of the local spawn points in my neighborhood. I'm very lucky I have a large grouping of Pokestops in my neighborhood, so these 3 Pokestops give me a lot of rare spawns. You can see this video was from back in the day when we didn't have the nearby feature, so I've been getting rare spawns at this location for a very long time. So here we go. I've got Wild Dugtrio. I've gotten Wild Dugtrio at this particular location many times. It's like over and over at this location. There's actually a Dugtrio chain spawn, but I wasn't looking for it at that particular moment. If I would have been smart, I would have tried and find that chain spawn. But I have found one in other instances, so I've got the Dugtrio chain spawn marked off of my chain spawn list. But yeah, I caught this rare spawn at this location, but the interesting thing is I catch rare spawns at this location and right next to this location very often. It's actually like super often, to the point where I'm constantly scanning my neighborhood and scanning this location, and then if there's a rare spawn there, I just walk up to it. But now I don't have to use the scanner to get this location anymore because they have the nearby system, and using the nearby I can always see what Pokemon are on the Pokestops near my house. So it's very convenient. Now, in this next video, I literally found a Dugtrio in the exact same spot. It's not like the exact same spot where sometimes you'll find rare spawn points and it's like every single time they're standing in the same house, the exact same spot. I do have a spot like that in my neighborhood, and it doesn't have a Pokestop, so I have to scan that spot so I can see if there is a Pokemon there. But I don't sit and scan like all the time, especially since nearby is very helpful and it came out recently, so now I'm not really using the scanner as much as I used to. But that one spot does spawn pretty good Pokemon, and when I scan every once in a while there's something good there and I'll run out and I'll have to grab it. So I have 2 rare spawn points within about a block of my house, and it's very convenient for me to just scan and find those rare Pokemon, or when I go for a walk I try to walk past these points on the off chance that something good will spawn. So here you can see I've got 2 Dugtrios in this location, and I was trying to hit the Dugtrio there and got the Spearow. But yeah, this location spawns rares. I know that it spawns rares, so I have memorized that location, and that's my tip that I gave in my other video. Memorize those rare spawn locations, make sure that you find out where the rare spawns are spawning, and then you can hit those spots again and you're more likely to find rare spawns there. So how do I know that this is true? Well, I've done some testing with Pokemon like Dragonair and Dragonite, and I realized that Dragonair and Dragonite only spawn in places that get really rare spawns, like Auburn or like Cameron Park Lake. So those places just naturally get really good rare spawns. You can find good rare Pokemon in Auburn like all the time for some reason, which is why I really want to go visit there. And you can also find really good rare Pokemon in Cameron Park Lake all the time, kind of like Pier 39. Rare Pokemon just show up there. If you go there, there's a much higher chance of getting rare Pokemon than going other places. So those kind of locations seem to just spawn rares. Those are the kind of amazing locations that don't just occur everywhere. So for the rest of us who don't live next to Pier 39 or Cameron Park Lake, we have to figure out our local rare spawn locations, and then you want to memorize those locations because they're the most likely to get more rare spawns. Case in point, here's another Weepinbell at that same location. I do get grass spawns in my neighborhood, so the grass spawns are spawning in the neighborhood, and then the rare spawns spawn at this point, so it's a good confluence of both of those factors, and now I got a Weepinbell. It's the same thing with the Dratini. Dratini only spawns in certain locations, and then rare spawns only like to spawn in certain locations, so you may be able to find Dratini in one area, but that doesn't mean you can find Dragonair and Dragonite in that area. But like Cameron Park Lake, you can find Dragonair and Dragonite in those areas because they spawn rare spawns. spawns. So it's kind of a two-piece video. This part that I'm showing in the video is specifically rare spawn points, and then there are generally rare spawn locations. So Cameron Park Lake would be a rare spawn location where you can just go there and find rare spawns all over the place, even in the neighborhood outside of the park. And then the rare spawn points are more like the places where you see rare Pokemon in a very small little area, like this group of Pokestops. Now this Tangela is a little bit further away from the rare spawn point that is normally this group of Pokestops. He's a little bit outside of that area, and that just goes to show the randomness of the game. There are some points that spawn more rare spawns than other points, but every point has a % chance to spawn rare spawns. So you could get a Snorlax anywhere, but I think it's more likely to get certain rare spawns at these specific locations, and the more that I visit them, the more that I find that that's true. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video about rare spawn locations, and I really hope you guys take the time to memorize the rare spawn locations in your own neighborhood. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to my awesome subscribers, and peace!